Welcome back. So today we will discuss Borel-Cantelli lemmas. So Borel-Cantelli lemmas say that if you are given a sequence of events, it gives conditions under which only finitely many of these events will occur. Okay, I will state it properly now. So as usual, you are given a probability space. Okay, some omega fp is given to you. So there are two Borel-Cantelli lemmas that we will study. There are actually a few more versions, but we will study the two most famous ones. Okay, the first Borel-Cantelli lemma says the following: if A1 A2 dot 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 is a sequence of events such that sum over n equals 1 through infinity probability of a n is finite, then almost surely or with probability 1 only finitely many AIs will occur. Let us say ANs will occur. So A1 A2 dot dot dot, this is a sequence of events. Okay, so they are all f measurable. Okay, so all these events will have some probabilities associated with them. So if it so happens that the sum of the probabilities of n equal to 1 to infinity is finite, then the BC lemma, Borel-Cantelli lemma 1 says almost surely, that is with probability 1 only finitely many of the ANs will occur. Okay. So I will help you digest it a little bit better. First I want to, so there are only two possibilities for this summation, right. See, probability of AN is a non-negative, this is like a non-negative sequence, right. P of AN is a non-negative sequence. So if you sum a non-negative sequence n equals to 1 to infinity, it is well defined, it is always well defined, right. The question is whether it goes to something finite or goes to plus infinity, right. There are only two possibilities, right. So the first BC lemma talks about the case when it is finite, the second Borel-Cantelli lemma talks about the case when it is infinite. Okay, we will first deal with this finite case. Okay. So I will help you parse what this finitely many ANs occurring means. Okay. And the second Borel-Cantelli lemma, I will just state both and then explain both of them. So this is like a partial, second Borel-Cantelli lemma is like a partial converse to the first BC lemma. Okay. So it says that if this is infinite, then infinitely many ANs occur, but not quite, you need independence. Here you do not need any independence. Okay. then almost surely infinitely many AIs occur. Okay. So, these two are the statements. First Borel cantilever lemma says if the summation of the probabilities is finite, only finitely many ANs will occur. The second says if the summation is infinity and you have independence, then infinitely many ANs will occur with probability 1, both with probability 1. Okay, so let us try to understand the first Borel cantilever lemma first. Okay. So, you are looking at, so you can look at this guy, so probability of A n as some sequence P n, right, some numbers P n which sum to something that is finite, right. So, what you have really is a sequence of events whose probability is going down to 0, because if you know that if a series sums to something finite, the nth term has to go to 0, right, that you know, but the converse is not true, right. So, you have a sequence of events which is becoming more and more unlikely, correct. So, in that case, so it is not only true that P n, the probability of A n is going to 0, it is also true that the sum is finite, which is saying more than that the nth term is going to 0, right. So, you have the sequence of events which are becoming more and more unlikely, right, and they are becoming more unlikely rather fast, so that the summation is finite, right. So, which means, so this implies that beyond a certain point, beyond some finite, let us say n naught, none of these ANs will occur almost surely. There exists some n naught beyond which none of these and all these AIs will fail to occur, okay, because they are becoming so unlikely, okay. So, that is what this means. So, there, so finitely many, see finitely many ANs will occur means some ANs will occur, but beyond a point there exists some n naught beyond which none of these AIs will occur, that is what this means, right. Similarly, for this part, if you are talking about infinitely many ANs occurring, that means what. So, you go as far as you like, as big an n as you like, but beyond that n there exists at least some AN that occurs, no matter what n you look at, right. That is what this finitely many ANs and infinitely many ANs occurring means. Is this okay intuitively, everybody with me? So, I will introduce some notation to make this more formal, okay. So, I want to talk about, see I am both these lemmas talk about some event of only finitely many ANs happening or infinitely many ANs happening, right. So, I will actually denote that. So, there is a particular notation for it. So, event that infinitely many ANs occur, right. This is what I want to characterize, right. So, I want to write this as some unions and intersections of AIs, and that is done as follows. You write n equal to 1 through infinity union I equal to n through infinity A I. Okay, so it is a nested, it is an intersection and a union, okay. And this event is called, so this is denoted often by A n infinitely often, right. This is simply notation for this event, okay. This is an event that we will encounter a few times. So, this is just denoted by A n I O, okay. What this means is just this, okay. Okay, I will help you parse this in a minute, but you will agree that since AIs are events and I am only taking countable unions and intersections, what results will also be a event, right, because this is just countable unions and intersections of these AIs. So, it has to be f measurable. So, this is also an event and I can genuinely refer to it as some event for which I can assign probabilities to, right. Is that clear first of all? So, what the Borel-Cantillo lemma 1 says is that this event has 0 probability in this case and has probability 1 in the second case, that is what the BC lemma says. Okay. Everybody with me? Of course, I have to explain to you what that all this intersections and union means, right. So, I will help you parse this as follows. So, let us have let us make a definition, let Bn equal to union I equals n through infinity ai, right. So, then I have ANIO is equal to intersection Bn, correct. I am just, so this guy here I am calling Bn to help you parse it. Okay. So, whenever you have these nested unions and intersections, actually in your homework you will see 3 of them in one homework, here there is just 2, right. What you do is you start from the innermost union or intersection and then work your way out. Okay. So, I am going to call that Bn, right. I am indexing it by n because I am starting from n here, right. Now, so what is Bn? Can somebody tell me what in words what Bn is? At least, so Bn is the event that at least one of an plus 1, an plus 2 etcetera occurs. That clear? At least one of an plus 1, an plus 2 etcetera occurs, that is Bn. So, for that reason Bn is sometimes referred to as the nth tail event, right. It is saying that from n onwards at least one of the a's occurs, an plus 1 and an plus 2, one of them, at least one of them occurs. Okay. And then what is an infinitely often? So, it is just the intersection of these nth tail events, right. So, this is the event that all the Bn's occur, for every n Bn occurs, correct, by definition. Now, Bn is again the nth tail event, which means for every n there at least one of an plus 1, an plus 2 etcetera occurs, correct. So, which means no matter how big your n is, I will have at least one of the an's after that n, right, occurring. Is that clear? So, no matter how far I go, no matter how big let us say my n naught is, beyond that n naught one of these ai's will still occur, correct. Is this clear to everybody? So, the first Borel-Cantillo lemma says that an infinitely often this event has 0 probability in this case, and the second Borel-Cantillo lemma says this event has probability 1 in this case. Okay. Are there any questions at this point before I prove these results? The proofs are actually fairly elementary. Once you manage to understand what it is that the lemma says, the proving it is not very easy, not very difficult. Yes. So, AI's, so this I have defined Bn as the union from n to infinity. So, this is Bn is the event that at least one of an plus 1, an plus 2 etcetera occurs, right, for the given n, right. So, it is called the nth tail event. So, given n, it is the event that at least one of an plus 1, an plus 2 etcetera occurs, and this is the event that each one of the Bn's occurs, which means for every n. So, I will say that this event has occurred if each of the Bn's occurs, which means for every n I must have at least one of an plus 1, an plus 2 etcetera occurring, correct. For every n I need at least one of an plus 1, an plus 2 etcetera occurring. Okay. Any questions? Okay. Proof. Okay. BC lemma 1 is very easy to prove. See, remember that first Borel continuity lemma does not need independence or any other further constraints, right. If it so happens that sum over n equal to 1 infinity p of a n is finite, then this will apply, only finitely many a n's will occur. Okay. So, what do I have to prove? I have to prove that in the first case this event has probability 0. So, that the complementary event finitely often will have probability 1. See, what is the complement of this? This will become, this intersection will become a union, then the union will become an intersection, and then you will have a complement, right, which means there exists an n such that each of the further ai's fail to occur, which is where this is what finitely often means, right. So, you can just use De Morgan and flip this around if you want. Okay, so proof the first Borel-Cantelli lemma. So, you have, so you want to look at this, right, you want to look at probability of essentially this, right, you want to show this is equal to 0, right, and what is the, if I see something like this, what is the first thing I do? I invoke continuity of probabilities, correct. Now, this bn's, I think this bn's will turn out to be nested increasing or nested decreasing. Bn's are, so bn is the event that at least one of an plus 1 etcetera occurs. So, bn plus 1 is, so nested decreasing, right. So, these bn's are like Russian dolls, no, they are nested decreasing. Okay. Everybody with me, just think about it, if at least one of an plus 1 an plus 2 etcetera occurs, right, that is a bigger set than at least one of an plus 1 an plus 2 etcetera occurring, right, correct. So, I can use continuity of probabilities to write this as probability of, agreed, this is continuity of probabilities, and using the fact that bn's are nested decreasing, fine. Okay, so that is equal to limit n going to infinity probability of, my bn is after all union I equals n through infinity ai, okay. I have just copied what bn is. Now, I can use union bound on that, okay. I have a union of events. So, the probability of a union is less than or equal to sum of the individual probabilities. After all, I have to get to a sum of probabilities at some point, right. So, this is less than or equal to limit n tending to infinity sum over I equals n through infinity probability of ai, okay. So, this is union bound, this is continuity of probabilities, okay. Everybody with me? So, now the proof is almost over, okay. Reason is I know that the summation, this is a converging summation, right, this converges to something finite, and you know that this guy is the tail sum of a convergent series, and as n goes to infinity the tail sum has to go to 0, right, you know that from your sequences in series, right. So, this has to be equal to 0, right, as n goes to infinity this goes to 0, okay. So, I have proved, what have I proven? I have proven that with probability 1, so with probability 0 there is probability 0 that infinitely many an's will occur, which means with probability 1 only finitely many an's will occur, right, which means beyond a point an's will, all an's will fail to occur, beyond a certain n naught none of the an's will occur, okay. Good, okay. So, this is a very simple proof. So, this is hardly 3 steps. Okay.